Good evening, America. I am Eric Little. It is the 31st day of July, our one month anniversary of doing the show. Well, technically that's tomorrow, but it's a Saturday and we don't work on Saturdays. So congratulations to me. It's National Avocado Day, National Talk in an Elevator Day. So you got a nice echo today. I'm near my home in Southern California this evening, and this is the plain truth. So where I grew up, there was a guy named George Jones. George Jones was a criminal if I ever met one. He was one of those crazy guys that, you see him walking down the street, you walk on the other side of the street. People were scared to death of him. He was a crime waiting to happen. He liked me for some reason. Crazy people often do. So he went to prison for 5 years. When he got out, he was a completely different person. You talk about law-abiding. I mean, this man, his parole officer, he used to have to meet him at 9 a.m. He was there at 7. This guy paid extra taxes. He wouldn't jaywalk. He literally would walk to the corner and wait for the little hand. He was taking no chances. I don't know what happened to him in there. And when I asked him, he wasn't mad. He just said, I don't talk about that. So anyway, he was dating this girl named Lisa. And Lisa decided to dump him for his best friend. So she comes to the basketball court where we're playing basketball to tell him, and she brings her new boyfriend and her 2 brothers in case he went a little crazy. So when she told him, he looked her dead in the eye and said, Lisa, I love you with all of my heart. And I just want to thank you for the time you did spend with me. And he put the ball down and he walked away. He was a completely different person. Now, I tell you that story to say this. In my 50 plus years on this earth, I've met at least 5,000 people. He is the only adult I've ever met that has changed. By the time you get to be an adult, you are who you are. So for those thinking of voting for Trump for a second term, he's 74. You really think he's going to change? He is who he is. Shannon Sharpe. Now, I'm sure he didn't invent this slogan or this phrase, but he's the first person I heard to say this. Money doesn't change you. It makes you more of who you already are. And I imagine power operates the same way. If you were a nice person before, you're going to be even more philanthropic if you hit the mega millions for $200 million. If you were a butthole before, you're going to be more of a butthole with $200 million. Power works the same way. You think he didn't have any respect for presidential norms before? Oh, give him another term, completely unrestricted and unfettered by having to worry about getting reelected. You thought he let his friends get away with stuff before? Oh, in the words of Geraldine, you ain't seen nothing yet. The reality is this. If you were a good person, if he was a good president, if he cared about anybody other than himself, we would have known it by now. All you have to do is look at what he's done. Don't worry about what he says. Everybody has their own way of phrasing things, and I think the best I've ever heard was Fred Dalton Thompson. In his character on Law and Order, he once said that in the end, a man's motives are secondary to his accomplishments. I really believe that. If you look at what his motives are, they're bad, but they're nothing compared to his accomplishments. And that is the plain truth, as I see it. And I am Eric Little. Good night.